Elwan, mashallah, from Egypt, came to the United States in 1997, PhD in microelectronics, former MSA president of Ohio State, mashallah, co-founder of Ansar Relief, which is a refugee aid organization in Ohio, moved to California, obviously made the right decision, in 2005, active da'iyah, an example for me and for us, and a prominent khatib in Southern California, Ustadh Hassan Elwan.
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على أفضل المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه الطيبين الطاهرين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. وبعد smiling is a charity multiplied by 70. And why am I smiling? I'm so happy it's the month of Ramadan. And I'm so happy it's the best month of the year. And I'm so happy I'm in the best place in California, it is the masjid. And I'm so happy because I just did the act that Allah loves the most, which is Salah. Isn't that the reason to smile? And Ramadan, right? Hajj Ramadan, when you go to Hajj Ramadan, you can go for Hajj Ramadan. You know that? Now, there's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that whoever prays Fajr in Jama'ah and sits in the masjid, in dhikr, in dua, till shuruq, till the sun comes up, and then prays 2 rak'ahs, he has the reward of Hajj and Umrah. You do Hajj today? Who's planning to make Hajj tomorrow? This blessed month. Motivation, refocus. This talk we are about to speak about, how is your heart? It is Ramadan. What happened? What are you feeling? Are you in khashya? Did you shed tears yet? Are you in what is your state? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam informed us that in this month, وَلِلَّهِ مُعْتَقَاءٌ مِنَ النَّارِ وَذَلِكَ فِي كُلِّ لَيْلَةٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has people that He emancipates. The emancipation of the slaves. This is the month of emancipation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala every single night. Every night. There is a script comes there with names. Fulan, you know, this person, they have been emancipated. They are freed from hellfire. Every single night. I wonder who was freed the first day, who is going to be freed tonight. See, that's, if you want, if I complain, why is my ibadah so dry? I come to the masjid, but I'm praying and there is no emotions. You know emotions? Well, how can you get emotions, regular emotions? It is what you focus on. If you remember something that remember a bad situation in your life, if you bring it in your mind and you start focusing on it, you start feeling what? Depressed, anxious. If you remember a good situation, whatever you focus on, if it's something good, you feel happy. What we focus on is what makes our state, is what makes our ibadah meaningful. If I want my ibadah to be meaningful, someone that came in here tonight with the focus of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will emancipate me. It's this night, it might be this night. If I come thinking about my dhunub, if I come thinking about what I did wrong all my life, then I think of this soul. Tonight it might be the night. Can you imagine in the hereafter, when you go in the hereafter and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell you you're done. It was 2012, night 2 in Ramadan. You were emancipated from hellfire. If I come with that focus, if I enter here, that is what, and I pray, begging of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, please write my name tonight from those who have been emancipated. Your ibadah will be different. I learned something this year as I was preparing something to do. You know, the first night of Ramadan, I was sharing this with brothers everywhere. The first night of Ramadan starts when Maghrib, not Isha, right? And I was thinking, I go to the masjid, and as soon as I hear the masjid, the adhan of Maghrib, I give my charity. I want my charity to be the first of this month. So that's a pretty good deal. And I learned something amazing this year. Here comes another brother, and I was talking with him, and he did something I was amazed. It was before Ramadan, it was us, and he started writing his check, his charity, and he started dropping it in the charity box, and I was like, oh wait. If you wait in just a few hours in Ramadan, what happens? It's multiplied by 70. You're missing. Why? And he said, look at his focus. He said, when I saw what Allah does in Ramadan, when I saw the generosity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that month, I knew that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is most merciful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most forgiving. So I went to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and told him the following, Ya Allah, I know you forgive in Ramadan, you forgive outside of Ramadan. People have hope to be forgiven in Ramadan. What I saw you do in Ramadan, I have hope to be forgiven now. I believe in the Lord of Ramadan. And then he said, I know I'm living now. I don't know if I'm going to reach Ramadan or not. Ya Allah, please, here is my child. I believe you can multiply outside of Ramadan without extent. This act, because of this focus, might be better than my act. The charity box outside, there is a charity box. Somebody might go and give $10. Alhamdulillah. But if you give $10 and you start focusing, this is what we're speaking about. What are you focused on when you do your act? If I'm putting $10 in the charity box, and then I start focusing and thinking and imagining myself in the hereafter, in front of my scales, and my bad deeds all over, and then I imagine as I put this charity, this is what you do with yourself. As you put the $10 in the charity box and it drops, I imagine it on the day of judgment dropping on my scale on the other side. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala multiplying it by 7. When I give charity with that focus, it will be different. This is beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to be able to orient myself towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I think there is so many, for example, Rabi' ibn Khuthayn, one of the great tabi'een, students of the companions. And he used to require very little in his life. And one day he came to his wife, he used not to ask for anything. And he asked her, I want some dessert, some sweets, a special type of dessert. And she was amazed. Akhiran, at last he asked something from me. At last the Rabi' ibn Khuthayn wants me to cook for him. And she was so happy. She spent 3-4 hours making this special dish, with sugar and egg and that special type of sweets. And then she made the dish, worked hard, and then she gave it to him. It's the first time he eats in years, and he wants it. He starts to eat. As he looks at the door, here comes a poor man. And this man seemed to be not in his right mind. Upstairs. And he looked to the man and he said, give him the dish. And he gave him the dish, and the man started eating it and slobbering all over it. So his son came and said, young father, you gave this sweet that my mother was 4 hours cooking to that man who doesn't understand the value of what he ate. He doesn't know. He's not there. He said, if he does not know the value of what he ate, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. Focusing on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to do deeds in ihsan. Rabi' ibn Khuthayn, the same person, next time he asks his wife, can you make the dish for me? And she goes and she does it again and everything, and she gives it to him. And as he's about to eat, guess what happened? Here comes a poor man. And the Rabi' ibn Khuthayn looks at the dish. So his wife came and said, no, please, not the dish again. I'll tell you what, I have some money saved, I have some dirham, I have some dollars. I'll give him the money, but please you eat the dish. He said, really? You have something to give him? She said, yes. He said, what a good idea, bring the money. She brought the money. He took the money, put it on the dish, and gave him both. When we focus on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it enables us to do deeds amazing. He is focused on the hereafter. Salim ibn Abdullah, when we focus on the hereafter, we become very strong, we become something out of this world. Salim ibn Abdullah, he was in the mosque one time, one of the tabi'een, and the Khalifa. You know the Khalifa that at that time, the Muslim Ummah was the strongest, superpower. The Khalifa is the strongest man on earth. And he enters the mosque, and he finds Salim ibn Abdullah. And he sits beside Salim ibn Abdullah, and this is the president, imagine the president is here, and he bows down to him and he said, I like a haja. Do you have any need? Do you want anything? If the president comes here and he asks, do you want anything? I tell him, how about Syria? How about Palestine? Maybe, right? If not for me, at least for someone else. So Salim ibn Abdullah looked at his focus. He said, I feel shy to be in his house, the house of Allah, and ask from other than him. So the Khalifa was like quiet. He said, okay, he went outside. He said, I wait for Salim ibn Abdullah. So he waited. When he's done with the salah and everything and he walks outside, he finds the Khalifa again. And he asks, we're outside now. And then Haja, do you have a need? Do you want something? So Salim ibn Abdullah asked him this question. A need of this life or a need of the hereafter? A need from the things of this life or a need of the things of the hereafter? So the Khalifa said, well, doesn't control from this life. He said, I did not ask for it from the one who owns it. How can I ask for it from the one who does not own it? When we are focused on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we become the strongest people on earth. We become the richest people on earth. And that's what the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told us. من كان همه من كانت الآخرة همه. Whoever is concerned, his focus is one, the hereafter. What does Allah do? جعل الله غناه في قلبه. Allah places His richness, His sufficiency in his heart. وَلَمَّ عَلَيْهِ شَمْلَهُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gathers His affairs to him. And the life of this world comes to him, even if the life does not want to. It chases him. And whoever makes the life of this world his focus, what does Allah do to him? Three opposite things. جَعَلَ اللَّهُ فَقْرَهُ بَيْنَ عَيْنَيْهِ. Allah will make his poverty between his eyes. Everywhere he looks, I want this, I don't have this. He's poor no matter what he has. وَفَرَّقَ عَلَيْهِ شَمْلَهُ. Even if he's the richest person on earth, you'll find him a slave of his money. The bank account, this. Everything is dispersed. He lives in dispersion. His heart is dispersed. You know, like dispersion? We want our heart to be in a state of jam'iyya, focus, collectiveness on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we focus on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, something else happens. Something that is, I can't even describe it. It is called hope or raja. One of the things that, the reason we do what we do, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, in Surah Al-Kahf, the last verse, فَمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو لِقَاءَ رَبِّهِ فَلْيَعْمَلْ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا وَلَا يُشْرِكْ بِعِبَادَةِ رَبِّهِ أَحَدًا. Allah, this verse gives us the key. What motivates a believer? What motivates you? Are you motivated? He said, whoever hopes, have hope, raja, in meeting with his Lord, let him do righteous deeds. The reason we do righteous deeds, the reason we do not stop, the reason we come to the masjid, having hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'll give you an example. Scientists did a very simple example. They got some mice, rats, and it's a true experiment. And this scientist threw them in water. Scientists can be cruel sometimes. And rats are struggling, and he started the timing them. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. And then after a while, what happens? They gave up. After 6 hours, they stopped. No more. They stopped and they drowned. So he knew they stopped after 6 hours. Next time, he got some other rats. He threw them in water. They started trying and trying. And as they were about to give up after 6 hours, he picked them out. Picked one of them out. And he rescued. The next day, he threw him back in water. And he started timing. 1 hour, 5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, 18 hours, 24 hours. The mouse did not stop. Why? What's the difference? The mouse this time was looking at the scientist. And because he sees the scientist, he sees he's there, he's going to save me, that gave him hope. And hope kept him going on and on and on. The reason we fall on our faces, the reason we are not motivated, when we lose focus on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The example I give you is the definition of hope. The mouse was swimming. Is swimming going to save him? No. Why are you swimming? Because he sees the scientist. He's going to save me. He's going to save me. He's going to save me. That keeps me swimming. When I go through the journey of this life, what keeps me going? Even when things are bad, even when things are hard, if I focus on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if I see how vast is the rahmah and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it keeps me going and going and going. Raja is of 2 types. Hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I finish with this, it's of 2 types. One, all of us sometimes have. I come to the masjid, I pray, I have hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He will accept my deed. But be careful. There is a second type of raja, hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we all lack sometimes and miss. What is it? When I slip, what happens? The hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not only when I obey Him. Yes, when I obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I hope that He accepts. What happens if I slip? What happens if I go out of the masjid and do a major sin? Some of us, oh my God, God is going to torture you. Is this what you thought about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Hope, the best type of hope is the hope that you would have when you sleep. The real hope is that when I slip, when I mess up completely, when my deeds are not good, and I look and I say, Ya Allah, although my deeds are not good, although I messed up, my hope in you is constant. My hope is in your mercy, not in my deed. And there are so many examples in that. That can be only attained by focusing on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I give you one example that we all know. The famous hadith of Bukhari. This woman, and she used to do something horrible. She was a prostitute. You know how that is. And that's a terrible thing. If you see a woman of that sort coming to the masjid, how are you going to treat her? Many of us won't look at her. Many of us, what are you doing here? But that woman did something amazing. She, with what she's doing daily, and taking money for it, she saw a thirsty dog. And you know the hadith, okay? She gave the dog water. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saw that from her, so He thanked her and forgave her. Allah forgave her. And you're telling me Allah's not going to forgive you? No, the question is the following. Why is her deed so special? Do you ever think about that? You know why? Because in the midst of what she's doing, she knows what she's doing. All her deeds, all her sins did not prevent her from doing something good. If that, imagine if it's you. Imagine if you're doing a major sin. Shaitan will come and tell you, why are you going to go to the masjid? Why? There is no hope. That woman, her hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was bigger than her sins. She said, yes, although I'm doing what I'm doing, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can still forgive me through this law. The lesson you take from that, if you ever face something in your life of the same sort, if I am in the darkness of night, and that sometimes happen to us through the journey of this life, look for the dog. Who sent the dog for this woman? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to forgive her. Can you see that? You see Allah in it? So Allah sent the dog in her way, so that she can give him water, so He can forgive her. When I'm immersed in sin, even if I'm doing the worst things on earth, I look for anything that God sent, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends to me. And I will still do. And I will still have hope that this action, Allah's generosity, will make it in such a way that He will forgive all my needs. That's why Yahya bin Mu'adh al-Qadhi said a wonderful word. He said, Ilahi, my dear God, يكاد رجائي لك مع الذنوب أن تغفرها يفوق رجائي لك مع الطاعة أن تقبلها. He said, dear God, Ya Allah, my hope in you, that you forgive me when I make a sin, outweighs, is much more than my hope in you to accept my deeds when I do them. Why? He said, لأني أراني في المعصية أعتمد على مغفرة وكيف لا تغفرها وأنت بالجود معروف. Because when I sin and I do something wrong, I see that I'm fully depending on your forgiveness to forgive me. And how can't you forgive when forgiveness is your attribute? And when I do something good, a good deed, I see that I'm depending on my sincerity, that my deed is pure. And how can I make it pure when I am full of deficiencies? Our hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should be strong, should be constant. And that cannot be true unless we focus on Him. We see Him in every single situation. His generosity, look, ma'asiyah, then sins, ugly things is my action. Forgiveness, pardoning, giving is His action and His attribute. His attribute will always overpower mine. We should never lose hope. Never lose focus on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. بلى من كسب سيئة وأحاطت به خطيئته أولئك أصحاب النار. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says, warning, the one that gains a bad deed, and He describes it, and his sin, his bad deed surrounds him. This is the one that goes to hellfire. What do you mean by my bad deed surrounds me? Do not ever let what you do surround me. You know what surrounds me? That I did something bad, and it surrounded me, that it veiled me, it made me depressed, it made me Khalas, Allah can forgive me. So I stopped seeking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the one that's deprived. I finish with a hadith showing you the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the concept of Raja in the hereafter. This is a narration about someone in the hereafter. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's the day of judgment. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows him his scripts and his deeds. And he finds I did X and Y and Z, wrong. Very few good deeds. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks him, did anybody, was anybody unjust to you? Didn't you? And he said, no, nobody was unjust to me. It's my deeds. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, take him to hellfire. And as the angel drags him to hellfire, this man starts looking behind, looking. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala orders the angel, stop, bring him back. What were you looking for? He said, Ya Allah, I was still hoping that your mercy will catch me. So he says to the angel, take him to paradise. Open Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even in that situation, can be a savior. And the hope cannot be, we cannot have it unless we see the vastness of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, the gates are open. Yes, the gates are open in Ramadan, but I want to tell you about another gate that's also open that we don't talk about. You know what gate I'm speaking about? The story of the creation. You know, the Christians have the story of the creation. We have the story of creation of Adam and Eve. But one point I want you to know. There are things that were created before Adam in the spiritual domain, and you can go and search them. There are things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, before creating Adam, He knew what He needs, and He created them. One of them I mentioned tonight, a gate. The Prophet ﷺ told us in a hadith, number 19 in Riyadh al-Salihin, if you want to look it up. A gate. He told the Sahaba that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, before creating Adam, before we come on earth, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the spiritual realm, I don't know how, He creates whatever He wants. He created a gate from on the western side, and the Prophet said, you can walk 70 years between its ends. Very fast gate. What is it? The gate of Tawbah, the gate of repentance, the gate for those who want to come back. It's always open. Why is it from the west? The Prophet explained. It's going to be open till the sun comes from the west. This gate in Ramadan, or other than Ramadan, is always open. We sometimes do not see the gate, so we do not go through it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us as we go through this month to reorient and refocus and enter through the gates of Tawbah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us see the hereafter while we're living in this life. Finally, one last moment that I share with you, the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, something that makes me happy. And I finish with it. That the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us about something that happens in the universe in this month. Hundreds of millions of Muslims are making dua for you. Hundreds of millions of Muslims are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive you. Right now, where do you get that from? I often share this with the hadith of Muslim Ahmad. Even the fish in the sea asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive those who fast till they break their fast. How many fishes are in the Atlantic Ocean? Sometimes I will go to Walmart and I walk beside a fish tank. You laugh, but this is how you want to be focused on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You do those things, and I go and look at the fish. Jazakumullah khair. Dua for me. This is how we bring our ibadah and our hearts to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with focus. Sometimes I see a bee that's drowning in water. You know, you go by a pool or something. What I rush and try to save the bee. Some people do it because they're gentle and kind, but I do it, and as I'm saving the bee, I say, Allah, look, he's drowning. I'm saving. Allah, I am drowning in my sins. On the day of judgment, may you do the same to me and save me like I saved that bee. And then I look to the bee and tell, please be my witness for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are Muslims. They know, and on the day of judgment, they are going to witness against us or for us. You see a spider walking in the masjid, and oftentimes what do we do? Kill it! On the day of judgment, he might go to Allah and say, he crushed me in this life. Allah crushed him now. He will ask you, why did you crush me? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask about everything. Why did you kill that spider? So what should you do? Remember that. Pick him, put him outside the masjid gently. And then you can talk. I saved you, I didn't kill you. You might witness on the day of judgment. So with that, I leave you with those thoughts. Bring your heart, bring your focus on every single thing you do. That allows our emotions and our heart to be engaged in our ibadah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us pray with khushu' and khashiyah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك لا اله الا انت نستغفرك ونتوب اليك واصل ان الانسان يفوز الى الذين امنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. جزاكم الله.
Jazakallah khair. Ustadh Hassan Elwan, just to wrap up a few points that he mentioned.